Okay, pre-calc students, we are still in lesson 10. This is the rational denominators section that we're going to go through. So a couple of notes before we look at the problem down here. Remember, a rational number is any number that can be written as a over b, where a and b are integers. Rational numbers are decimals that either terminate or repeat in a pattern. Okay, also remember an irrational number, that's an A. An irrational number is a number that cannot be written as a fraction of integers. Okay? Irrational numbers are non-terminating. R-M-I-N, terminating, T-I-N-G, non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. So if you have a square, a cube, fourth, fifth, root of a number that does not come out to be a whole number, then it is irrational. It is good mathematical form to have only rational denominators. Okay? So that's important to remember as we work through these. So what they want you to do is rationalize this, and the biggest thing is to look at the denominator here, and we have a 3 radical 3 in the denominator that we want to get rid of on this. Okay? So first, we're going to multiply. In order to rationalize this, we're going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of the denominator. So we're going to take our 4 plus radical 3 all over 2 minus 3 radical 3. And we're going to multiply both sides by 2 plus 3 radical 3 all over 2 plus 3 radical 3, which is the conjugate of the denominator there. So we're going to want to do this separately. We're going to separate that out. Okay, so we're going to take the first one, we're going to take our 4 plus radical 3, and we're going to multiply that times 2 plus 3 radical 3. Okay? And so we should do this. We can multiply through the way we know. 4 times 2 is 8. And then we have radical 3 times 2 is plus 2 radical 3. And then we do it the other way. 4 times 3 radical 3 is going to be 12 radical 3. And then you have radical 3 plus 3 radical 3 is going to be plus, that's actually 9, because you're going to have 3 times 3 radical 3 times 3 radical 3. And so if you have 3 radical 3 squared is going to be 3, and that's going to equal 9. So then we can solve that. We have 8 plus 14 radical 3. That should be plus 9. Plus 9. So we have that. Okay? And then we're going to do that to the denominator. We have to multiply through times that. So you're going to have 2 plus, actually I'm going to move that over a little bit, plus 9. So we have 2 plus, just put a line there, 2 plus 3 radical 3 times 2 minus 3 radical 3. And the reason you multiply through by the conjugate is because you're actually going to get rid of this one and this one. Okay, we're actually going to get rid of the radicals in this. So 2 times 2 is 4. 3 radical 3 times 2 is going to be plus 6 radical 3. That we have there. And then you're going to multiply 2 times negative 3 radical 3 is minus 6 radical 3. Notice those are going to cancel out. And then you have 3 radical 3 times negative 3 radical 3 is going to be 27. Minus 27, which is really we have minus 9 times minus 9 times radical 3 squared, which is 27. Okay? So then this, we're left with 4 minus 27. Okay? So now we take this. I didn't combine this. So we take this, we put this in a numerator. Okay? So I'm going to erase a few things. Okay, actually, I'm going to erase this. So we have 8 plus 9 is going to be 17. So you have 17 plus 14 radical 3, all that over negative 23. So this went here, and that went there. Okay? And that's what we end up with. And you want to remove the negative in the denominator if you can. So if you do that, this becomes a positive, this becomes a negative, and a negative. So you can either leave it as 17 plus 14 over negative 23, but they want you to get rid of the negative in the denominator and make it that.